My name is Carl B. Johnson, Barnett with 2 T's, and I was born in the West End of Boston, and I had diphtheria. It was in the Boston, the city hospital, and I had two glass tubes down my throat, and I threw them up. My mother come in time to save me. That's a fact.
That's right, when you were born?
Yeah, I had diphtheria. I don't know if it was, yeah, it must have been, yeah. And later on, we were in Waltham with my grandfather's brother and his family. I lived in Waltham. Then after that, we moved to Broadway, Everton. I lived with my great-grandparents, Mumma and Muffa.
And they were from Sweden, right?
They're from Sweden, yeah. And later on, my mother bought a house when I was about 6 years old on Bolster Street, Everett, off of Ferry Street. And Grandma and Grandpa lived in it, and John and Ruthie, my aunt and uncles, lived there. And I grew up with them.
Now, which one's your mom's brother? John?
John.
John.
Yeah, and the other one is her sister.
Ruthie.
Ruthie, she died when she was 15 years old.
What did she die from, do you know?
I don't know, I think it was cancer or something, I'm not sure.
What was her last name? She was...
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh?
Yep. And then, let me see, and Johnny Lindbergh. He was my uncle, but he was more like a brother to me.
Because he was young, too, when you were growing up, right?
He used to box my ears off, so one time I was under the bed. No, he was sleeping and I was mad, and I went up and punched him in the nose because I was much younger. Then he went after me. I went underneath the bed and hid. He was a pretty good boxer. He boxed the amateur some. And we lived on Bolster Street.
And that's in Everett, right?
Yep, in Everett.
And you guys had that house in the family for a long time, even after that, right?
Yeah, my grandmother, the guy they bought the house off worked with my grandfather down in New England Coke Works, as he was a boss down there. Yeah, we lived, I forget how long. You know, I was 6 years old on, and then I went into the service, and after I got into service,
The Marines.
For the Marines.
Well, how about you tell me a little bit about high school? Tell me about how you got the nickname Carl Sugar Johnson.
Oh, so that started when I was a kid. I was counting in Swedish up until the age of when I hit 20. You know what 20 is in Swedish? Sugar.
Okay.
So they used to kid me, hey, sugar 1, sugar 2, sugar 3, sugar 4, sugar 5, you know. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
But after that, it ended up sugar. And ever since I was that old, I've been called Carl. Even the teachers in school called me Sugar. Excuse me, class, I want to congratulate Sugar on the great game he pitched in the science class. The teacher, Eugene Toby. And my basketball coach was like a father to me. His name was Lennox Putnam. Great guy. He taught me a lot. I got mad in the gym one time. Every time I'd have the ball, he'd blow the whistle to show him what to do, right and wrong.
Uh-huh.
So I slammed the ball down. So he sent me to the locker room, and I got dressed. I was going to sit in the bleachers. And he says, out of the building. So the next time I come back, the day or after, I apologized. And he was like a father to me because he was that type of person.
Just a good guy.
Yeah, he was a gentleman. Let me see what
Now, your father was in the service, right?
Yeah, my father was a U.S. Marine. He had 12 years good conduct, but after that he went over to China. In the Boxer Rebellion or something, I think it was in the 1920s or something.
Uh-huh. What was his name?
His name was John Johnson. Top Sergeant John Johnson. He was shot like a 2x4.
It's just
He was
short and stocky.
And you know, he got hit getting off a streetcar at Glendale Square. Then the streetcars used to be out, and you had to come up the curb and to get on them.
Uh-huh.
And he come out, and the car hit him, knocked him up in the air, took him to the hospital. He's all bandaged, but he comes home tough as nails.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old you were then when that happened?
It must have been about 5 or 6, because after 6 years old, I never saw him anymore.
Okay. And that's where we think he disappeared over in China somewhere?
Well,
We never heard anything of him after that.
No, he got in some kind of problems or something. I don't know what, from drinking or something. And he went to West Coast. He could cook too, and then he got a dishonorable discharge because they did something. I don't know if they burned the hotel down someplace or another.
Oh.
This is when they got stoned or something. I don't know. And he had such a good career. He was in when he was about 15 or 16. I don't know if he used his brother's name or something. Somehow he got in.
Somehow he got in at an early age into
Yeah.
the Marines.
And he was in World War
He was in World War I then,
One.
right?
Yeah, he was in Oregon, Bella Woods, and all them places, which I forget.
All in Europe, right?
Yep.
Now, how about with you? What other sports did you play in high school? You played basketball, right?
I played football, basketball, and baseball.
Now, what positions do you play in football?
I played end. In basketball, I was a center, believe it or not.
Were you tall enough? You were tall enough to be a center?
Well, in them days, the guards, they weren't so many tall people. The guards were about like 6'1". I jumped against people that were about. I could run and jump. That's the only thing good about me.
Now, how tall are you? You're 5.
I
5'11"?
shrunk. No, 5'10" and a half. I shrunk now. I'm down to 5'9" and a half. That's what they told me down the doctor's office.
So you lost an inch.
Yeah. And
And you played baseball too, right? You were a pitcher?
Pitcher, yeah.
Now, you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed pitcher.
Yep. The first game I pitched, I relieved a guy. In the first inning, I pitched a no-hitter until the last inning, but we won it. They got 1 or 2 hits off me.
Oh.
And the captain of the team wrote my yearbook or something about the coach didn't give me the breaks I should have had. You know, I got 3 letters in it, but he didn't, you know, he pitched me, but not.
Yeah.
I should have been the #1 pitcher, you know. And the captain of the team wrote in the book, well, the coach was a football coach,
Mm-hmm.
and he coached baseball, and I went out for 3 sports, so then he saw me jumping in high jump, you know, and I was doing pretty good in them days. A little over 5 feet was kind of high, you know.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So he asked me to come out for track, so I went out for track. I was going to high jump and stuff. And I used to practice broad jump and stand still on the sidewalk and then do it. So what happened, my basketball coach come down, saw me with the track team. He says,
Uh-oh.
he says, which is it, basketball or track? So I turned it in. But Gilday, he was a football coach and then he was a track coach. And I don't know, he had something against me or something, I don't know why.
Oh, so you ended up sticking with basketball after all that, right?
Yeah, instead of the track. Because I would have been 4 letters if I got that.
But it's hard because the seasons happen at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other coaches helped me get in the football game because Gilday wasn't too good that way. I was first string center on the basketball team where he had nothing to do with stuff. And I thought myself I was a better football player than all the other sports
Wow.
because I was brought up.
Now, this was all at Everett High, right?
Yeah.
Now, how did you guys finish out your senior year of high school at Everett High?
In football, we were 7-1 and 1 in football. In basketball, I think we were 12-8. We went to a tournament, Danvers tournament. And in baseball, I don't know. I got no recollection how many games I won in high school or nothing.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Now, when did you end up going into the service? Right.
I went in 1942.
And were you a volunteer?
Yeah.
You volunteered for the Marine Corps.
Yeah, and you stayed in for a duration of 6 months. That's what it was. You could either volunteer or get drafted, so I went to. And then I went to, what was it?
you had basic training, right?
Yeah, down at South Carolina. What's the?
Is it not Fort Bragg?
No,
That's the Army in
No,
New York.
I'm forgetful.
I can't remember.
Oh, what was it?
Oh, it'll come back to you.
Paris Island.
Paris Island. Okay.
And when you went on the island, the gates dropped. You know.
So you were staying there.
Yeah, we were in boot camp, and if you wanted to try to get over the hill, there was swamps and alligators all around. And the temperatures used to get up to 117 and it's sometimes down there.
Oof.
So that we wouldn't have, you know,
AWOL, right? People
No.
lapsing.
yeah, not only that, but we would only do drilling in the early morning and night. It got so hot, they discontinued the afternoon drilling there.
Wow.
Wow.
And I was at South, and then I put in for C school. I didn't even know what the heck it was. So I got out of there, and I went to Norfolk, Virginia,
Mhm.
and I went to C school at the Marine Barracks in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Portsmouth. Okay.
Yeah, the Marine Barracks were in Portsmouth. So you went there to learn about the ship. Port, starboard, aft, forward, you know,
Yeah.
gangway, all that.
The poop deck.
Yeah.
That's your favorite.
Yeah. And let me see, then after that I stayed there and I missed. They put me in the kitchen duty for 30 days. So my platoons went out. In my platoon, some of them went in the Pacific and got sunk.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, when they were going across.
Got ships. So then I graduated and I went to the USS Philadelphia, light cruiser. And we were, the guys I were with, we replaced somebody
Okay.
that hadn't done 2 years of sea duty and stuff.
Okay.
That's nice.
And on the other ship, they took the whole detachment, you know, if it's a new ship.
Now, what did you have to do on the ship?
I had to stand guard, and the prisoners, if they had prisoners in the gate, they never had, in the jail, we had a jail, but out to sea, they never had them in that.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And then I was an admiral's oddly. I stood duty for 4 hours in front of the admiral's cabin, and anybody wanted to get in, they had to go through me.
Oh, wow.
And I had to wake them up in the morning, but I couldn't touch them.
Uh-huh.
I would say, Admiral, time to get up. Time to get up. Admiral, time to get up. Time to get up. And he finally did.
Singing to the Admiral, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And anybody had to go through me to go in to see the Admiral. They had what they call a flag secretary. He was the one that was more in charge of, you know, the Admiral and even us when we were with him, you know. Yeah.
And then, so now this was before the war or during the war?
This was during the war.
During the war.
Because we went into the invasion of Africa.
Okay.
We went into, where was it? Bizertes, which is outside the, I forget the name.
This is all from the Mediterranean, right?
Yeah, Mediterranean side, yeah, we were there. And then we invaded
This is all in North Africa,
yeah,
right?
North Africa, yeah. And
They've all changed the names of the countries now. I mean, they're all different.
I was the first on the ship, and we went in our first invasion. I was in the powder room, and that was as low as you could get in the, you know, in the ship.
Yeah.
If something happened, good, and then we could hear them, the things hitting the water, boom, boom, boom. I was playing dice. I don't care if I lose my money.
Always a
Now,
gambler.
you went on shore when these, like in some of these things, or you mostly stay on ship?
We stayed on ship,
Ship.
but when they took Algiers, you know,
Algiers, yeah.
that's what I went. They sent us detachment off the ship where we were supposed to stay on there, and we had to guard the airport before the army had moved up in the air, and the military police was going to take over. And we were walking at night. I just said to Antonio, walking by the, I think of it, a silhouette on the place we were guarding,
Mm-hmm.
And across the way was all Arabs. They had these big cloaks. They had guns underneath. Across the street, in the morning, we found an arsenal over there.
Oh my
I
gosh.
walked that door like this all that night. I was scared. I never been in that before.
Yeah,
Oh, that was something. Yeah.
that was
Then
something.
we were in. We went from Africa to Salerno, Anzio, and I don't know how many. I got about 4 stars for the Pacific. I mean for the North America. Then I was on a. I got transferred when I was on the ship because the flag got transferred. I went from the Philadelphia to the Brooklyn and to the Boise, which was a famous one to come from the Pacific, but I wasn't in the Pacific.
Okay.
And our admiral was the admiral of the, fleet over in the.
This was still on the Philadelphia, right?
No, I got off the Philadelphia,
Philadelphia.
went to the Brooklyn,
Oh.
and went to the Boise. And the Philadelphia went back to the States for furlough, and here I'm staying out there with the admiral.
Jeez. So you pretty much kept your duty with guarding the admiral. That was your primary post.
Yeah, but then later on I became a gunner. I worked in the gun turret and helped clean it. See, the Marines had a 6-inch battery, which was the main battery on the light cruiser, and we had a chief in charge, and I volunteered to be a gun striker, clean
Yeah.
all the decks and that. Yeah, so you got away from all the other baloney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when did you end up in the? Now you served sometime in the Pacific, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I served about, I don't know how many, I was a replacement for the 3rd Marine Division, and the 12th Marines. I was in the artillery, 105 howitzers. Went to Camp Pendleton on the West Coast, and from there we were called replacement. We were replacing people that done 2 years on their duty or something over there. And I stayed there, I don't know, about 12, 14 months, I don't know, something like that. Because I had about 3.5 years in the service, almost 4. That was a prime when I could have been a baseball pitcher and got the big leads.
Yeah. Because how old were you then when you were in the Pacific?
Probably about 20, 21.
Yeah.
No, and then I was in for 3.5 years, and I got married when I was 25. I just got out and I got married.
So when did you? So you met Graham after
On a
the?
blind date, and she drove the car.
Well, tell me all about it. I heard you guys went parking back then.
Yeah, she did. She took us parking.
And you didn't even have a driver's license, did you?
No,
You didn't need one.
no. I had a chauffeur.
So who put you guys together? Was it her friend or one of your friends?
2 friends from the Marines. One was Ransom, the other one was, I forget his name. And they used to go to Suffolk, and they went with her girlfriend, Frances,
Uh-huh.
and Edith, I think, Edna. That's who it was.
Edna. Okay.
Edna White.
Oh,
Edna White.
Yeah, I remember. So then, I was at Frances's house, which was across from the bus depot, and hiding behind the door.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandmother come in, and she had a date that night, and she said, and Frances said, "Oh, you just missed him." She said, "Oh, shucks." And I said, later on, I said, what a fool I was. I stayed behind that door, and look where I ended now.
You're still behind the door, aren't you?
I'm in the doghouse, not the door.
So when did you actually meet her? You didn't meet her that night?
Oh, yeah. We met her
Maybe before.
4.
Oh,
I
okay.
say when we got to Liberty, we get out of Norfolk, which was known as Shit City, excuse my language.
Okay.
That's what they called it. I'm telling you as it is. And I used to guard on the gates where she come in, the Labor Street gate, but I didn't know her then. you know, we get guard duty when we went to sea school, you know.
How about Graham? How about you come over here and take a seat? Let's see if I can get you both in.
Paul and Ransom, they were on the ship, and they were going on a date, and they got to go out of Norfolk, its city. They
Yeah.
decided to go to Suffolk because there were so many sailors, soldiers, Marines. Norfolk was
A mess.
mess. So we went over there, and they took me over, and then they went, Frances, her girlfriend, went with one of them, and Ransom went with White, didn't she?
Yeah,
And you were driving, Ma, right?
yeah, well, they came one time, this is way after he came back, when he was out of the service, wasn't? No.
No, I was still in the Marines.
Yeah.
Now, how old were you then, Papa? Like 23, 24?
Yeah, I got out when I was, we got married when we was 25.
Yeah, 1945.
45, we got married. I got out in
Tell about that date.
I
you
got
took
out
'em.
I got out in October, and we were married. I went home, and then I went down and I married her.
You didn't
Oh.
go home.
Oh, I didn't go home? Oh,
Didn't go home after that? You stayed in Norfolk?
Stayed in
Suffolk.
Suffolk.
Suffolk. And then we got married December the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, but I went home, Ma.
Just for a little bit, maybe for a visit?
And then I remember saying that we can't keep this relationship. It's too much distance because we had to take trains in them days. I didn't have no license.
Oh, that's a long way to go.
How long were you dating before you got married?
Well, I dated him before he went, after I met him,
Before I went overseas.
before he went back overseas to Iwo Jima.
Okay.
And then we corresponded then. So then when he got out of the service, he came to Suffolk by himself and proposed to me and gave me the
Engagement.
engagement ring.
Aw.
Blaze.
And then we got married December the 1st.
Wait, so how did he propose? Did he get down on one knee, or did he just say, "Hey, how about it"?
I don't know. I don't
Ma,
remember
but
that.
Ma, go tell about your date, how you did the driving, you took him parking.
Yeah. Oh, that was before. Yeah.
That was before, that's when you first, earlier on.
First met him, and I was driving the car, and we went out.
And where did you go, Ma?
I don't know.
On a
it
bridge.
was-
Some bridge or something. She took me in.
Oh my gosh, with some water and a nice
Submarine
car.
race.
Well, it was all of us in the car.
Oh, okay, you weren't alone.
Oh, we're all squashed in.
Yeah.
I was in the front seat.
I had my brother's car, and I was living in Suffolk with my sister at the time.
Uh-huh.
I was
owned the
going
florist
to
business.
the high school there
Suffolk's High.
Typing.
for a course in in typing and things.
Now, how old were you when you first went out on a date?
With him,
Yeah.
I don't know. I figured out
22, Ma?
probably.
Yeah, about 22. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we were married when we were 25, weren't we?
So you
Well,
got each
we
other
married
about
in
3 years?
1945.
45, yeah.
Yeah, we were both 25 years
Because I was
old. Yeah, I
21,
think it
31,
was. Yeah.
41.
And there was no places for them to live, they had to live with his mother.
Oh.
We lived with there was 4 generations under one roof.
When we came back after we got married, we stopped in Washington for a honeymoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stayed at what was it, Diplomat?
That's one of the hotels there
High-class
for a few
joint.
days,
Uh-huh.
and then we went
Took
to
the train back to Boston. We went on
Boston,
trains.
and we started. I stayed at his mother's house. Yeah.
Jeez, did you miss home at that point? Big change from...
Only time I really missed home was when I got pregnant,
Yeah.
and knew I had to go to the hospital without my family coming to see me,
Yeah.
and that was really the only time. Yeah, I can remember that I was. Yeah,
Real homesick.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So, and I got pregnant, and CB was born November the 4th, the first one.
Aw.
There you go. And then you had 3 girls after that.
Yeah.
And then Papa was outnumbered for life.
And Papa saw me in the elevator.
Yeah. Funny, you know, when they
Saw the doctor that was going to deliver you.
yeah.
Because
he
I
was-
went early to the hospital.
And they had the regular doctor wasn't there.
Yeah,
Oh, so you have
So
a
I
backup
had
doctor?
So I had gone to the hospital.
to see me because I went
And
early.
they had heard it. And I was, they told me to go upstairs in the elevator. I got scared then because I thought something
Well, you
happened.
asked where I was.
Yeah. And up there, well,
In the
they usually
meantime,
don't
I
let
went,
you
I
up
went
there.
into labor.
Yeah.
And she was in the recovery room there. And then the doctor come out. Oh, you got this. I almost-
And of course,
And that's when Patricia was born.
yeah,
yeah,
Patty Duke.
Patty did. Don't say that.
I used to kid with her.
Patricia Gale. Patricia
I
Gale.
kid with her. I call Anna Banana,
And that-
Cindy Bugs.
Okay, then those are the other two.
All right, I was born in Lanceman County, Virginia. On I was born in the house on the farm. August the 26th,
Is it that house?
1921.
Let me get the.
You were born in there.
In that house.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's so neat. I didn't realize you were born there.
Yeah.
Tell them what number child you were.
Yeah, how many kids?
Well, I had an older sister and 3 brothers.
And one died.
Well, they all died after a while, yeah.
No, I meant,
One died when young.
yeah,
Oh, it was
was
one born after me that was born dead.
dead. Yeah, that's what I meant.
It was a girl after me that was born dead.
Stillborn.
Yeah, stillborn. Yeah. And then I went to school at Cypress Chapel, Virginia, it's called, and I graduated there.
And you were farmer's daughter.
And I was born and raised on the farm in Virginia. I used to feed the chickens. I used to go barefooted in the summertime and stepped on all the chicken.
Now, what kind of chores did you do on the farm?
Well, I fed like some of the chickens, and I would also pick a lot of vegetables. I used to help pick vegetables because we had all kinds of vegetables. Lima beans, which we call butter beans,
Okay.
and peas, you know, and I used to help shell them and everything.
What about the butter, Mom? You used to do the
And we had cows, and they milked the cows, and the milk that we drank, we didn't have a refrigerator, so we would put it in a container that had a cover with a handle on it, and put it down in the well to keep it cold till we drank
In
it.
the water well.
In the well that we pumped water out of to use, to drink and everything.
plucking the chickens, Mom.
Oh, and I used to help clean the chickens when we cooked them. My father cut the heads off, and when we would run hot water over them, I believe, and would have get the feathers off
Mhm.
Good.
after they were dead, of course. And I learned how to cut up chickens, and my mother used to fry chickens every Sunday. That was
Ooh.
our dinner when we came back
Southern
from
fried
church.
chicken.
Black kettle.
On a black stove, the iron frying pan.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
On,
probably some good
on a
shit.
wood stove,
On wood stove, wood burning stove.
wood burning stove.
Did you
Yeah.
guys get all dressed up for church?
Yeah.
And tell them where where Granddaddy sold the lamb's wool to a very famous.
Oh, he used to the neighbors used to come over and help, and they tie up the sheep at the end of a season, like when he raised sheep, and they'd shear the sheep and take the wool and send it to
Is it
Chatham Manufacturing Company, I think it was.
Chatham blankets?
Yeah. And he'd
Ah.
have a blanket made and sell and it didn't cost anything because they paid for the wool,
Mhm.
for the rest of the wool. And it made a blanket, and then they'd send us a blanket.
Wow, out of the wool that you sent them.
Yeah.
And Chatham Blanket was in Massachusetts?
No.
No, Chatham somewhere in Virginia.
Chatham Manufacturing Company. I don't know where it was from. Yeah, where it was. It wasn't too far away though.
Probably in Virginia.
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
in Norfolk or
Yeah.
Newport News or Portsmouth.
Tell them
Was it
how
a
you
sheep
worked in
farm?
the florist too.
Richmond.
Oh wow.
Later on after you graduated.
Oh yeah. After I got out of school, I went to live with my sister sometime in Suffolk. And on Easter, they used to have a big business in the florist of making corsages for Easter.
Yes.
And we used to stay up all night to get them all made, time enough for Easter Sunday. And I used to help with wrapping the stems of the flowers and things.
They had baby's breath and everything like
Yeah.
that. But there was no Suffolk Floral Garden was the name of it. It was.
And
her
the
sister-
telephone number
her
was
sister's house.
203.
her
Yeah, I saw the letter opener. It just said 203.
Yeah.
Her sister married a Johnson, and so we're both Johnsons. They married a Johnson, and then she married a Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah, Dickie Johnson. That's her.
Yeah.
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 More sweet. So what kind of farm was it? Because
Well,
you
it
said
was a
sheep.
farm.
Was it a sheep farm?
She,
No,
Well,
it's
no, it was
peanut
a farm
farm.
that raised peanuts.
Oh.
You ever hear of Suffolk Peanut Company?
Yeah.
Planters peanuts.
Planters
It smells-
Peanuts.
They
used-
sold the peanuts to Planters peanuts.
Peanuts. They were
In
in
Suffolk,
Suffolk.
Virginia.
And Georgia says they're the peanut company. They're not.
Uh-huh.
No, Suffolk was.
Yeah.
Now, what are the names of all your brothers and sisters in order? So you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest. Then my
James.
brother James Rogers,
Uh-huh.
James Wesley Rogers. And then it was Mills Elkanah Rogers. And it was Herman Richard, I think it was Richard. Richard Herman
Richard Herman Rogers.
Rogers, yeah. And then my sister was Georgia May Rogers. So,
Were there a lot of years between you?
yeah.
well, it was like my sister and two brothers, and then it was space, and then it was my younger brother and me,
Okay.
and the one that was born, still
Afterwards.
born.
Wow.
It was like a space in between us. So.
What was it like growing up with 5 of you in the one house with the farm and everything? Do you have a lot of neighbors? Did you play games or did you always do work on the farm?
Well, they worked on the farm when they were young, some. Nobody stayed on the farm though. Well, James did.
James did.
At the end, he stayed and helped Papa. And I called my father Papa.
And tell them how he was a deacon in a church.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that Sunday school teacher.
Sunday school teacher.
many
Was it Methodist? No?
Limpton Spring Christian Church.
Church.
Okay.
How many years, Ma? Tell them.
What? I don't know how many years.
Sunday, we got the trophy for teaching Sunday school.
I
For,
know the trophies down Sullivan. On the
Because he taught so many days of Sunday school as
yeah,
a
he
deacon?
taught
taught the
so many-
women.
Uh-huh.
The
for so
women's
many
Sunday
years.
school class.
God
Oh my
knows how many
gosh.
years.
Plus he was a deacon.
Yeah, he was a deacon.
And
Of course, I was christened in the church.
Now, what was your father's full name?
Richard Emmett Rogers.
Emmett.
and when your
What
mother
a guy.
and your mother.
Eva May Harold
Harold.
Okay.
The Harold.
Rogers.
And they were married young.
And I never saw my grandparents because I was the youngest in my family.
Uh-huh.
And my father was the youngest in his, and my mother was the youngest in hers. And so when I was born, they had all passed away, all of my grandparents.
Wow.
So I never got to meet my grandparents.
You had some aunts and uncles.
Yes, and I had two aunts and an uncle that wasn't married,
Uh-huh.
and they were more like my grandparents.
Yeah. Now, where did they live?
They lived in Whalerville, Virginia, not
Which is
far
right.
away.
It's like a.
A few towns over?
No,
No, it was like Woodlawn, Everett, and Glendale Square, Woodlawn. Different sections of this place.
Well, it was wide open.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
weren't
but-
close,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it wasn't far away.
Now, how old were you when you first started driving?
Well, my brother taught me how to drive. My
Tractor?
oldest brother.
No,
Can
I
you drive a
learned to
tractor?
No, I didn't.
I drove the tractor.
You drove the tractor?
That's how I learned to drive.
On the farm?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Was it your same brother who taught him how to drive the tractor?
I don't.
James,
No, it was
James.
James, the
James,
youngest
yeah.
brother. In the minister's house, and my brother gave me away. Oldest brother, Herman.
Oh, he did.
He was my, yeah,
Poor sweetie.
yeah.
What-
Tell about your mother.
Well, and what was the wedding like too?
Was a lot of tension at the wedding?
No.
The mother didn't go.
Well, my
Aw.
father either didn't go, because they didn't want to see me leave.
Oh, they want to keep you there on the
They-
farm.
Yeah.
They were scared of
That was
I
your,
used to-
they were the
I-
baby.
Before I was married, I lived back on the farm because my mother was sick, and I did a lot of work around the house. Looked after them first.
Yeah.
And she married a damn Yankee.
Yeah.
Now, he probably didn't like that very much, did he?
The father wasn't
Well-
too bad.
Well,
I was
They
taking
took
him
him
away.
aside.
Yeah.
I warned him. I says, he's gonna, my father, when you meet him, he's gonna ask you a lot of questions. Where you came from, what do you do, and
Uh-huh.
all of this. And he did. He asked him all of that.
I didn't have a job.
Oh
He didn't drive.
He didn't have a job. He didn't drive.
Yeah.
He was a smuck.
He was very good to his help that were
Oh yeah,
on the farm. He was an excellent man, right?
yeah.
To his,
Well,
To the farm hands and
now
stuff.
he didn't have any farm hands. He
No?
did all the farming himself.
JT had them.
You taking away JT.
Oh.
Who's JT?
that's
That's
George.
was, that was the sister-in-law. That's Dickie's father.
But he was
Oh,
very good to
okay.
his help.
Oh yeah, Dickie was. Yeah. I mean,
JT.
JT is
was.
Georgia May's husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
JT Johnson. James Thomas Johnson.
He went to VPI,
Yeah.
Virginia Polytech Institute. That's where he learned
He graduated from that.
orchards, you know, for
Farming.
plants. What do you call it?
Horticulture.
Yeah.
Florist.
Yeah, and then he opened the Suffolk Florist Garden. And they had a truck with name. They delivered flowers.
He grew flowers too.
They had an island where they grow baby's breath and stuff.
Gladiolas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Baby's breath, yeah. So,
I'm trying to think of what else have you done. You said you took typing classes. Did you do anything
Yeah.
for your typing?
I typed some. I don't know if I didn't finish or what. I took at the high school. And that's where I met my friend, Mervon Brinkley. She was living with her sister and going to the high school taking a course also. Yeah.
Was it far?
I thought you worked in the naval yard though for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
ship
did
yard.
after
I was
that.
there at that time.
What
I
did,
stood
Yeah, we-
guard in the gate. She come in. I
I
didn't
used
know
to
her.
take a bus.
Oh.
what did you
Labor
do at the
Street
naval
gate.
yard, Ma?
Labor Street gate.
Well, I worked in, I don't know, in the office doing some, I've forgotten that.
Filing and stuff.
Filing and stuff, yeah.
She did work at the naval yard.
Well, you saw her come in the gate and you didn't even know her at
Well,
that time.
this is when we didn't know each other because I.
It was possible, but I went
It was
through that
possible.
gate.
See, when the guard company was shot, they took us people to guard the Labor Street gate. Regular Marines that were status at the barracks would do it, but we would guard
That was before
when
I
they saw
got
their
it.
passes coming in and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And of course, you're very professional, so you couldn't be looking.
Sir, yes, sir.
My grandmother and grandfather, my mother, and me, and Rachel, and then CB and Patricia.
Is Bolster Street in Everett?
Yep. And then we moved from there. We got into the veterans housing,
In Everett, yeah.
Everett, and we lived up behind Glendale Park in the veterans housing. It's still there. It's called something else now. But we lived there for how many years? God knows.
Well, almost 20 years. then.
Yeah, at least 20. Because
Then we
Trish,
moved to-
that's where your mother learned to drum corps stuff, the girls used to practice up on the street behind there.
Did they really?
Flags, sticks and stuff like that. Yep, we met a lot of people up there. Eddie Amoroso, Comerfords and all them. Guys I went to high school with Comerford and Eddie Amoroso.
Then they moved,
Were all the kids in the drum corps?
my brother and I.
Brother and
Two
her.
of you?
Two oldest.
I was the chief quartermaster.
They were the
Hey,
same.
all right.
I did the
One
work.
time you was
She
the
did
same
the
corps,
washing
right?
gloves. She washed gloves. How many pairs of gloves your mother used to put on the line up there? White gloves.
Oh my God.
And then afterwards, they let the kids take care of their own uniform. We used to have to take a button, all the buttons, send it to the cleaners, the flags and everything. Me and Tony there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What drum corps was it? Do you remember?
Yeah. Statesman, Everett Statesman.
Oh wow.
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue were the colors.
And my father walked with Kennedy on the parade. Tell him about the parade.
Yeah. We were in the parade, you know, we had to walk with the kids in
St.
case
Patrick's.
they got fainted or something. We had women and men walk with them, have first aid stuff and the stuff like that.
Front page of the Herald
Yeah,
with Kennedy,
with Kennedy,
Ted Kennedy,
Ted Kennedy.
marching.
They
right
got
up.
into the
So
wrong.
neat.
They got into the wrong.
And that's where you met Jimmy.
They got into the wrong. They got into. That's all right. Look what you got.
That's all of our life.
Hey, but they were supposed to go into the parade with the Gatesmen, which were from South Boston, the Irish outfits, which they were Irish.
Uh-huh.
But they were
Some they came late and they ended up with the Statesmen of
red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
Oh.
So my father's famous. He was on the front
That
page.
worked out good for us.
You still have that picture, Dad? We'll show him.
I don't know why.
You probably still have it somewhere in a
Yeah.
memory book or something.
Well, we can find it too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I had the old newspapers wearing out where they had a picture of me in high school basketball and the three-letter man. And it all,
I remember that picture. That's a good picture of you.
yeah, we had knee pads in them days. I'm down in the hall like this. Then Rankin, who passed away, God rest his soul, a few weeks ago, he was on the newspaper and did all that sports stuff.
Yeah.
Rankin, yeah.
Now, how did you get here to this house from Everett?
Well, we had saved some money enough to put a down payment on a house.
But tell her how.
But Terry Mackey.
Oh yeah.
She's the one who told you about it.
Tricia lived
She
on.
met with Jimmy on
On Willis Avenue?
Yeah, where Cindy lives.
And then we told him, and then they
Then
told
Stevie went in after that. Now Cindy's in that house.
3 generations there.
Oh my God.
3 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and they've been here ever since. And
There's
they're-
no
tell
way.
how old you both are.
Well, that was 32 years ago, in June the 10th.
And Dad, tell them how old you are.
And now I'm almost 88. I will be August the 26th.
Dad, go
Okay.
ahead, tell
March 19th, I was 88 years old. In the March. Yeah, that's it, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's June 27th, 2009.
You should
June 27, 2009.
cut it, Dad.
What was it? Moo Moo Moofa.
That was
That's-
your grandmother.
That's Swedish for grandmother and grandfather. Momo and Mofa.
Oh, I like that.
And my grandmother was an angel. My grandfather used to come home from the coke works and he'd go into the bar room, have his beer, and there's my grandmother on the porch waiting for him to come and get the food right on the table. God bless her. She was an angel. Oh.
And she loved CB
She
when
did
he
love
was
Steve.
little.
Yeah.
And he used to sneak upstairs to see her.
Oh, yeah?
Because we didn't have gates then to go across the stairs.
Yeah, so he would climb up the stairs?
Yeah, I'd be in the kitchen, he'd sneak away, and I could hear him running across the hall, and he'd run in to see his great-grandmother.
Oh.
She used to
Wow.
rock me.
And then
Yeah.
great-grandmother had the dog. We had the dog Peter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she used to sit with him on the porch and say, my Peter, my Peter.
And we
You
got
think-
and we got a picture of Peter
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
Yeah. My Peter, and he. You think she had a kid? She wasn't talking about a dog. She said, "My Peter," you know.
And he was a Boston Terrier, right?
Yeah, and he
Oh,
sat
so
right
funny.
next to.
That's so funny. Well, and it was your Mufa, your grandfather?
Mufa.
And you said he worked in the coal mines?
Coke Works. Coke Works.
Like
He was-
Coca-Cola?
No.
No,
No.
Coke. New England Coke Company. Then they had Coke
That's
and
what
coal.
they burned in furnaces.
Furnace in them days. No oil, Coke and coal.
They used to shove it down your throat.
Interesting.
Some.
They didn't
Yeah.
use wood. They to heat the whole house.
No, in the stove you had what? What was it? The Coke in the stove? Or what?
No, that was
What's
just
coal?
coal?
Like COAL?
Coal, like
Yeah.
coal.
Coal.
Almost like
Coal, C-O-A-L.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was
Coke
coal.
is C-O-K-E.
Like when you're bad, you get in the
No,
stocking.
it was coal, really coal.
But it was a type of coal, right? It was
Yeah,
Coke
coal.
brand coal.
Coal, what it was a light. It was real light, and they used that in the furnace. And they used the hard stuff like Coke,
coal.
in the stove when they cooked dinner and
They
stuff
had
like
to
that.
shovel it into the furnace.
Furnace downstairs. They'd have to bank the furnace at night so it wouldn't, they had to do
And the
that.
front,
So it lasts through.
the front window, I don't know if you remember on Bolster Street, right at the bottom of the steps, it was a solar window.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's where the trucks used to drive up and up the coal because it was a
They had a
run
slide.
down the cellar. It was
Ah.
a run down the
They
cellar.
had a coal bin, that's what they call it.
And they would put it, and they would dump it down in there,
Yeah,
right?
well, they had a metal thing they connect on to the side of the truck, and then the truck would go up and put the
The coal in the basement.
Coke in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So he did the delivery of the coal, or he made
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, New England Coke Works. That's
he
where my
worked there.
grandfather
He
worked. My uncle worked there too. They used to come home. They looked like they worked in the coal mine.
All the black soot.
Yeah,
all
even
over.
though they took their shower down, they were still in their eyebrows and ears and stuff a lot of times.
Gosh. Did you ever get to go down and see him at work?
I don't remember that. I don't know. I know he worked on the tower. They call him an engineer. He watched gauges, my grandfather. And he'd go to work. He'd be there 2 hours before he started. He was always on
Oh
time.
my gosh.
And you know where the Coke Works was, is where Cindy's gas company is
Is now Edison.
No, it was
Yeah.
down. No, it's you know what the Edison, but that was down the back street, man.
Oh,
It was
But it was
down
close
where
to down there. It was down that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
in the back.
That's good.
And they used to have Esso there, and they used to have a lot of fires years ago.
and that was who, the Esso company was the one that sponsored the drum corps.
Yeah,
Oh.
when they first started.
Yeah,
Huh.
small
But
one.
Esso, they used to have fires, and you could see it on. We live above the hill, going from Everett Square to Glendale. But you could see, and we'd worry every time something happens because the Coke Works was right next to the.
Boom! It could
Yeah, they
get
had to
all.
walk by that when they
wow.
went to work.
Now with Esso, what did they make? Did they were just like a
Esso
company?
Beacon Oil. You ever hear Exxon?
Yeah.
That's Esso.
Oh.
That's gone through to change names. Yeah,
Oh.
oil. You
That-
see the tanks there?
Yeah.
That's still it.
That's
All
the
right.
Esso company. Now, how about your work, Papa? What did you do? You worked for Polaroid.
Yeah, but I worked for another company, Elliott Addressing Machine Company, Albany Street, Cambridge. And
Machinist,
they built-
mechanic.
Yeah, no, there I was a machinist. And then later on, I had almost 20 years there, and then I left and I went to Polaroid, and I had 17. There I was a machinist, then I was assembly mechanic, and I worked in a lab at the end.
The film.
Yeah, a lab, yeah,
For the film
And
machine.
he worked for engineers.
engineers in the lab, and that's the one I told you about. They made a battery, but they never put it on the market.
Well, that's the flat battery you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah, the
about.
flat battery. Yeah, they
Yeah.
had it some, but they didn't follow it up. I don't think
Wow.
it was flat battery. It used to. I made a thing for it. I got it upstairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about your stepfather? Harry.
Harry,
Yeah.
he was the greatest guy you ever met.
Aw.
Now he was. Now when did he marry your mom?
He married her. I think when I got out of high school or something around that time. I'm not sure.
Now, what was Harry's name? Full name?
Harry Olander. And he was so good to your mother and them. He used to dance with them, skate with them, and everything. He was a little Swede. He used to play soccer. He was a goalie.
Oh, so he was a Swede too.
Oh yeah, come from the old country. Yeah, Olander, O-L-A-N-D-E-R.
Did they speak in Swedish?
Ja,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
They
tala
did?
svenska.
They
Yeah,
did a lot.
prata mycket svenska like me. I learned because
You knew quite a bit of Swedish when you were growing up, huh?
Oh
You
yeah,
had to speak
I had
it.
to learn because I lived with my grandparents from when I was 3 years old on, and between us, I'd say what, and she's because it talks Swedish to me. I locked her out up at Broadway one time when I was a kid.
Oh no.
Dad, tell them about the incident with the firecrackers.
Oh yeah, we lived in Waltham, I think, at that time. At my grandfather's brother's house. I stayed there, and it was the 4th of July, and I had matches in my pocket. We're doing sparklers and stuff like that. Somebody put a sparkler,
In your pocket?
yeah, against it by accident, and the match went out. I ripped the shirt off and ran.
Yeah, you're lucky you did.
Yeah, oh, boy, that was awesome.
Oh boy.
Put a dent in you.
Yeah, you want to see a Swede move?
Yeah.
I'd see nothing. The rabbit couldn't catch up with me.
So your mom's full name was Anna
Yeah.
Lindbergh?
Anna Amelia.
Amelia.
Was it
Anna Amelia Lindbergh.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
yeah. You ever have Lindbergh the fruit from
Yeah.
Solo? That's the same. Like, I think it's a little different. Got a G-H or something. I forget.
It's spelled a little bit differently.
Yeah. I might be the same because they used to call him Lindy. My uncles and all that.
They call them Lindy.
Yeah, hey Lindy. Hey Swede or Lindy or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were squareheads. You know why? The
Yeah.
Swedes always dealt good with the Indians and they named us squareheads. I don't know.
Is that what the saying came from?
I don't know if it's
You
true.
just make it up. That's what you heard, right?
I
like
always
that.
believed it. So some of my uncles or somebody told me that.
I like
Wow.
it. That's a good story. I like it.
Graham, you have any funny stories to finish up with that you can think of? Maybe a funny story
There's
when
so
you were
many.
growing up, or
Nah, not really.
no?
I
The
want
only
the
thing
frog
was
to
when
be
I
in.
hid behind the door.
When I went to school, I had to walk.
Go
You gotta
ahead.
tell us about school first, then you can tell us about him.
When I went to school, I had to walk from the house to the road, which was down quite a long lane, and catch a bus and to go to school. And come by, of course, when the school bus dropped us off.
Because you were way in the country, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And that school has been torn down.
It's all gone.
And I got a brick from it
That's right over there.
that I brought home.
And wrapped it, made it in a...
Oh, it's in our door. It's part of the doorstop.
Yeah, they did brick it to a doorstop.
How about you tell us about your frog?
Oh, this
Yeah.
frog I won at a fair. Must have been 20 years ago more. And the grandchildren played with him so much, and he still has his arms.
They
And
used to sling him
all
with-
stuck to him. They tied him up in knots and twisted him, or threw him around and everything.
And how old's the frog, you think?
Oh, maybe 20 years old, more than that.
Wow.
Yeah, about 20 years old, I'd say.
With my friend Gil Dudley. We
Yeah,
used to
I
run
won him at a fair, at a fairground.
at the church fairgrounds up in Heading.
Up in New
Heading.
Hampshire.
It's called Heading,
Huh?
next to Epping. Epping,
Okay.
New
This is
Hampshire,
Kermit
with
the
the
Frog.
races,
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
where the auto races are.
Yeah.
That's Epping, and they were next town, Heading. On Saturday nights when we were over at the campgrounds, you could hear them go.
You could hear the race cars
Oh,
going.
yeah, you could really hear them.
Yeah.
We used to go up and rent the place up there. Oh, we stayed with Gil and Betty and
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
Could you
The
bet on
cabin
those
that
race
was
cars?
up there. No,
Yeah.
it was just the fun race
You
cars,
couldn't
right?
bet-
Or were they the?
Oh,
the
real
regular
They were real race
race
cars.
cars. Oh, yeah, every Saturday night.
Yeah, that's been in the paper. It's in the
Yeah.
paper a lot.
They still got it up, but Loudon they have it. They call it now or something. They got big tracks up there. So.
Oh wow.
Then they have the motorcycle thing once a year. All the motorcycles go up to Laconia and that. And
In New Hampshire.
yeah,
What about the sugar? How he got to be sugar?
Well, that's
I
all.
told
Oh, we already did all Sugar. We know how he became Sugar Johnson because the way he spoke counted in Swedish.
He is sugar.